All right. Let's see. Do I have a little bit of sound? Yes, I do. Good morning, good morning. So we have actual catalysts this morning. We got a couple that are up. FWBI up 176%. Next up is CING. Next is CYTK. JTAI, CHRS, NKNG. I mean, we got a couple of movers with some news. Yesterday we had movers with no news, so you already know I'm just like I can't do anything with that. But today though, let's go through some of these catalysts. I'm gonna go ahead and throw these up here. Good morning, Donnell. Throw these up here on the watch, and we'll walk down them and see what kind of catalyst is looming. All of these that are up a pretty good bit. Hoth, of course, we've seen Hoth before. And everything below this is kind of irrelevant. Yeah. Let's jump over here to the main. And I'll open up that personal current watch. Okay, so let's start off with the first one, FWBI, First Wave Biopharma. Now, this is a biotech. We know that biotechs, a lot of shorts hate biotechs because they end up ripping their face off. So, with that sentiment, I'm going to be looking at this catalyst. So let's see. First Wave Biopharma shares are trading higher after company announces it entered a non-binding agreement for what? Non-binding agreement term sheet or non-binding term sheet to sell its niclosamide program for the treatment of inflammatory bowel disease. So IBD, that affects a good amount of people. I know that for a fact. Let's see, market moving. So that is pretty much its news. That drug sale, and we're gonna see the reaction. I believe that's gonna get some pretty good motion. We already have good motion on the 15-minute chart. Let's jump over here to the further over to the higher time frames. Looking at the monthly chart, we can see now. One thing that I like to see is 5 years history of trading on a stock, so we can kind of see where it was back here in 17 all the way here to 24. It's been getting beat down, beat down, beat down, but we can see it makes big moves out. Even though it gives back some profits, it makes big moves out. So I would expect it to try to do that today. Well, it was at 369 and it's currently trading around 1038. 1038. So let's see. 1038 is right in here somewhere. We'll just say 1050. Okay. And we got this big indecision area up here at 36. I don't know if it can push all the way up there, but it definitely doesn't look horrible being a low float. We'll check that out, but we'll look down the time frames real quick. Any gaps to be filled is what I'm looking for. Okay. So back here, we can see that there was a gap up here to 16s. 16, so 14 up to 16. Then there was another gap up here at 23 and 26. But we also had this nice little pump down from, so we may see a little bit of resistance up here around the 20s, possibly. But I like it. Inflammatory bowel disease, pretty good catalyst. We'll see what it wants to do. But I guess it's who they're selling it to. But looking at supports where it can possibly be bought, I mean, if it was to come down here, well, right now it's at the 10. So, what, 9? If it was to touch 9, possibly be something, but I don't know. I'm looking for a whole dollar level to hold. I'll see where it goes out of the open, but this is a huge buying candle here, and it continues to rip through 11 and all of that. So very big move. Let's go on to the next one, which is CING. up 93 cents. Good morning, Lori Lee. CING, what is your news? Not seeing any news on this one. Exodus, and it's also looking pretty choppy on the 15 minute. Let me jump over here and see if I'm making sure. Okay, so this is just a healthcare stock that's kind of just moving. Let's go and look at what it is. Healthcare, CING. Does it have anything to do with inflammatory bowel? Is it moving on sentiment or something? Let's see. Clinical stage biopharmaceutical company focuses on the development of product candidates for the treatment of attention deficit disorder, or ADHD. The company lead product. Okay, so this is a whole different one. ADHD. Okay, not too interesting on that one. The next one we have is Hoth. Or actually, let's go by the ranging one. So next one we have is CYTK. CYTK, what is your news today? CYTK Cytokinetics shares pre-bell on positive results from study of potential heart disease treatment. Even better news. We got heart disease, we got inflammatory bowel disease. So these are some pretty nice keywords out here. So I definitely keep that one up. I think I'm gonna take CING off. I really don't care about that one with the ADHD. I mean, there's a lot of other things you do other than drugs on that one. But definitely going to be watching FWBI and CYTK. Next one is JTAI. JTAI looking like White Ascent Industries. Jet AI has some earnings back on the beginning of December, but no real news right now, so not too worried about that one. So far, the only two that I'm really interested in is FWBI and CYTK. NKGN, let's see, NKGN Biotech, another biotech company. Clearance of clinical trial application for or by Health Canada for SNK cell or natural killer cell therapy to treat Alzheimer's disease. Still better than no catalyst, but we do know that these biotechs are waking up today. Hoth, what is this? Hoth Therapeutics announces expansion of FDA cleared first in human clinical trial for cancer patients. What kind of cancer are they working on? Is the question. A lot of biotech news here. Hoth. We got to figure out which one is going to be the one on today, though. So looking at Hoth Therapeutics Inc., a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company, focuses on development of developing therapies for unmet medical needs. It is involved in the development of skin disorders associated blah blah blah, mast cell derived cancers, and anaphylaxis. Okay, so Alzheimer's, and this one has inflammatory bowel disease as well. So we got two up with inflammatory bowel disease, except Hoth is weaker. So I'm liking FWBI a little bit more with that sentimental mover on Hoth. Okay, next one we got is Wolf, WULF. This is another, let's see, Coherus Bioscience and other big stocks. This one doesn't really have any news. Let's go look at what it does. If it's moving on sentiment, WULF. Financial markets. Oh, financial services, capital markets. TeraWulf Inc., together with its subsidiaries, operates as digital asset technology company. Okay, I don't care. I'm talking about Bitcoin mining facility that's nothing compared to these other ones. So getting rid of Wolf. GCT, that was one that I was watching yesterday that had kind of popped up, and I was like, I wonder what that thing's gonna do, because it did have the relative volume and all that stuff, but Looking at it today, it's coming on down, only up 2%, and it has a lot of competition on the board. So I'm gonna get rid of that one, and I'm also get rid of VRNA. And then I saw IOVA falling today, down 21%, and I was like, oh, that thing took quite a bit of a drop. I don't know why this one dropped, but it does not pay a dividend, so I'm gonna let it die. It's a biotech as well, dying out. So top movers for today that I'm watching, it's gonna be these four: FWBI, CYTK, NKGN, and HOTH. HOTH is kind of a sentimental mover on FWBI with that inflammatory bowel disease. Donnell says CYTK price per share too high for small caps. I would ignore. Oh yeah. Well, let's go and look at these floats too. It may have a higher float as well. So, because I did not check that. FWBI float should be super low. Looking at about, where the float? What? Oh, float under $1 million on FWBI, so that one's definitely can get spicy. Let's see CYTK. It may get killed because its float is too high. Here, let's see. Float of 97 million. Okay, yeah, that is a higher float for sure. NKGN. And I know I usually cross-reference these. I'll cross-reference it. NKGN 6.6 million. And then Hoff. Hoff though, buddy old pal. Float of 4.31 million. 4.31 million. So yeah, CYTK, the only thing that's killing it is that float. And it kind of has a weaker catalyst as well with what it's doing. I mean, it does have cancer in there, but can it get some kind of sentimental mover with it? I don't know. Or wait, I'm on the wrong one. CYTK is the one I was trying to go to. CYTK, late stage biopharmaceutical muscle activators, inhibitors. Okay, no cancer or anything in this one though. So, you know, no big words there, but I know over here when we were looking at it, it did have some interesting verbiage. Okay, so this was a phase 3. This is the heart disease one. Okay. Still up kind of big, but yeah, for that price, you know, and that float and that market cap, it's way over. It's not a small cap anymore after this move. It's what, 4,000 something in the market cap. Usually small caps are going to be 2,000 and less. So that one's definitely getting on out of there. Okay. But anyway, I think the focus is gonna be FWB. Oh my gosh. FWBI has moved away from the 10s. Wow. Wow. I am very interested in FWBI. So when it gets ready to calculate all of its relative volume, ATR, and all that, I'm gonna see if that can line up with what I'm looking for on open. If it can meet the calculation, I'll go over there to and make a calculation doc for it. But yeah, we got our 4 that we're kind of tuned into, and these other ones just they're just on the wayside. I guess I could zoom through these other ones just to see if they have news. What, GGE, nothing. QID, nothing. NIO, nothing. Tesla has a plan to stay in EV race. We know. Okay, UCAR, nothing. UNG, nothing. BitF, crypto miner, nothing. Mara, nothing. And then we're back up to where we were anyway. So yeah, I think I'm looking at the right spot. Let's get it. FWBI. I likes it. Now let's go ahead and see if we can kind of figure out what kind of levels could be buying levels. So looking over here on FWBI, we already saw the gaps that it has to fill. We're just going up there kind of quickly and taking some of those gaps out. It's trading within this level right here, where this previous resistance was, and continuing to push into the 13s. Oh my gosh. Somebody is doing some pre-market trading today, but I'm going to wait for that dip. Now, it has a couple of spaces that I'm kind of interested in. If it can come back and test this 10, this will be looking like a space where it could come down and test right here, 10 to 950, and definitely right above 9. I'd be definitely interested. But we're gonna wait to the open and see what it wants to do. We got 15 minutes until the open here, and it is a monster during pre-market, up 260%. One thing that I do know though, people have been waiting for something with the catalyst. So, I think this could be one that not only moves today, but could be a continuation, especially with that news. But we'll see. We shall see. Lori says FWBI will get halted at open. Possibly with it moving like this. I love the range. I love the range. I just, one of the things that I practice is don't buy high on a big range because you can lose a lot with a big drop. This thing's moving dollars, not pennies. You buy high, it's at 13.50. You buy high, it drops down to 12.50. You're crying, and I'm just looking like, well, probably should have waited. Should have practiced that patience. But yeah, we definitely interested on this one. Definitely interested on this one. I've been keeping up with my little all my little calculations or whatnot. Even so, the way that I've been doing it is even if I don't take the trade, if something is tempting to me and it meets the ATR relative volume and relative standard deviation, and it meets the percentage gain and all that, and it's tempting, I still make a calculator just to jot down what I'm thinking, what's keeping me out of that trade. You know what I'm saying? So I want to keep up with not only just the trades that I'm taking that I'm like, oh yeah, this is exciting, but the ones that's like tempting, but it's like, there's something keeping me out of that. You know. But let me jump over here and go ahead and start a sheet so I don't have to do this. Let's see. Where is my sheets? Google Drive. Sheets. And I actually made another calculator too for continuation play, stop loss for continuation play as well. But let's get this one open. Stop loss template. Okay. All right, so this is pretty much what the calculator is doing. Basically, these are the variables I'm looking for. Does it have 5 years of trading? Yes, it does. Does it have an ATR of $1? I don't know. It hasn't updated yet. Relative volume is probably going to be a lot higher as well. But I'm looking for 2x relative volume, 2 standard deviations out on the relative standard deviation. What is there a obvious catalyst? For sure. Is there obvious support? Still kind of looking around, really don't know. Haven't seen one. Is there obvious trend? Yeah, it's got this gap up. It's looking like it's gonna be trending upwards, but this is a day one. So, the confirmation isn't quite there, but it's almost there. What is the overall market sentiment? That's one thing I did not check. Let's go out here to the SPY and see what this overall market sentiment is. Market sentiment right now is looking like it's just holding in a going sideways actually. So let's start filling this out just based on what we see right now. And also ticker symbol is FWBI. All right. Um, what is this? 5 years. Y'all got that. ATR, don't know. Don't know. Obvious catalyst for sure. Okay, so right now it has a score of 30, waiting for some more confirmations here for a possible trade. Um, SPY going sideways really isn't against me, but really not in my favor either. Let me look at what news is on the SPY. Dogecoin killer Shiba Inu burn rate surges 1,600%. Is SHIB going up right now? Let me see. Where's my trading view? Donnell says the company has zero point 0.4 months of cash left based on quarterly cash burn. Hey, that means we got to do this quick, huh? Let me see. Where are you trading? Okay. Looking at trading view right here. And looking for wait, what was that news? Dogecoin, Sheep. I don't even have Sheep pulled up here. Crypto Sheep. Trading view, Sheep. Dang, what Sheep moved up? What? $6 and something. That's crazy. A lot of these cryptos have been moving though. This thing moved up from 3. I actually purchased this one the first time it came down here to 250 and sold up here around the right around the 3. But it looks like it did it again. Came down here to 250 and repeated history. Solana continues to rip. I watch crypto a little bit, see what's happening, what kind of craziness is going on over there. And I do partake. But yeah, right now we're waiting for more confirmations on this FWBI. Hoth doesn't look that good. Just looking at this chart pattern, just threw a wick up here to $2 and came back to 154. That's a lot of pressure for it. Maybe it'll be a grinder behind that other one. Good morning, Mike D. Good morning, Kev. What's up? What's up? Do I trade options? I used to until I realized that I was stupid. And I didn't really understand what options derived for. So I came back over to stocks to better understand the stocks, which are like the mother of the options. And so now I have a better understanding of small cap stocks. A lot of people trade options on the larger caps, mid to large caps, but I'm specifically doing a strategy on small caps. Do I better understand options? For sure. Now that I've kind of watched the market and just seen what moves are being made, do I have a strategy for trading options? No, I do not. Don't have the data points. Haven't been putting in any strategy. You have to put in effort behind it to gather the data, and I just haven't done any options data collection. But yeah, options are very interesting to me for sure. You can get burned quickly, but I mean, overall, you can get burned quickly in anything, but you can definitely get burned big, in the wrong way on an option. So I would definitely say understand the stocks, then jump into options. That's like the next level up. It's like going from, regular trading to Super Saiyan because you're taking those contracts, 1 or 2 contracts, and you think regular stocks is making money quick. Options is crazy, but those losses though, you have to control your losses. Let's see. Kev CS2 says, would you recommend small cap stocks for me? I've been trading futures and currencies for 3 years. I'm just getting into stocks on Thinkorswim. Small caps could be for you. It just depends on how much data you have on yourself. Like, how do small caps affect you as a person? Do they tempt you? What happens when you just like you should just take a day and watch small caps and be like, okay, I think this is gonna happen, or I think this is gonna happen, and take note of your emotions before you start taking trades, and be like, how does a stock, how do the small caps affect me internally? Like, am I happy? Am I sad? Am I fearful? Does this look like I'm about to lose my whole account? What is the feeling that I feel? And then you start taking your little stabs, get your little 1 share, 2 shares, and sometimes it just blows up and you're like up $1 per share. Sometimes it just chops you around. So you gotta, it's like, what data do you have to back up any entries into the stock market, or putting real money into the small caps, right? And for me, I have like, I don't know, like 3,000, 4,000 trades in the small caps. So I kind of have figured out, oh yeah, this is how I'm feeling. Oh yeah, this is what I need to look for. Oh yeah, that kind of thing. But is since you've been trading for 3 years, you may have the emotional component. Kind of, it may at first be kind of jumpy, but since you've already been trading currencies and futures, I mean, it may not be that big of a jump. Rather, if you were just a fresh feet in the water type deal. Okay, so we got 3 minutes and 40 seconds left to the open. We're watching FWBI. It has the oh my goodness. Why am I going blank? Bowel disease, bowel disorder. Am I tripping? I'm tripping. I'm forgetting the first I. I was trying to think. Intestinal bowel disorder, intestinal bowel disease. Yeah. We're gonna see. Donnell pointed out to me that CYTK definitely had that higher float, which is probably is why it's getting less and less volume. And FWBI looking like it's continuing to find a little bit of resistance around the 13s. We were looking down here around this previous traded level pre-market. It has a bottom here around 10. So 10 is always a big level anyway. So let's say, where's my calculator? On my calculator, let's say my expected price, I want to risk 300 bucks, and my expected price is somewhere around $10, right? So 10 bucks. It's going to say, okay, this is your max share size you can take, 791 shares. The minimum share size that I can take is 30 shares. So if this thing drops down to 0, that's when I will lose 100 on 30 shares, right? I can put a custom share size in here depending on the score, but we haven't got the recalculation. We've scored, it's got 5 years worth of trading history. It's got an obvious catalyst on today. And for right now, if I were to take max share size on that for a $300 loss, I'll be looking for a stop loss around 962. So I'll probably bump that down to a 950 break. But 950 would probably put a little bit too. They'll probably take me to like a $400 loss or something like that. But we'll see how close we can get to 10. 10 looks interesting on FWBI. It's a whole dollar level. It's kind of like the $5 level, but it's a very interesting one. So that's where I'm going to be looking. I don't know if I'm going to keep this expected price. It depends on the motion of the day, but 10, around 10, if I can get some nice little entries there, would be interesting. Also want to see that ATR come on up. ATR right now, I guess, on the close of yesterday is at 61 cents. Relative volume still just waiting for all this stuff to get calculated, but interesting overall. And so I'll see if this changes. If I can get lower prices than 10, if I can get 950, $9, I would definitely be interested. But we will see on this one. Let's see. Yeah, Kev CS says I'm used to volatile markets. Well, if you're used to volatile markets, small caps is right for you. I mean, you're basically right at home. All right, FWBI. We got 15 seconds to this open. This thing is big green across the board, and I Man, I'm not sure if it'll pull down to the tens, but man, if it could pull down to the tens, that would be amazing. All right, so it's opening up, going straight up, man. Lori said that this thing is gonna halt up. There's the pop up, very quick pop over this level, all the way up to the 14s. Man, that thing is moving. Okay, let's see if you can get back down here to the tens. I'll be very interested there. Now look at this recalculation. It's meeting my criteria. Look at this. ATR of $1.33, relative volume 284 times normal. Relative standard deviation up 7.67. So when we look over here on my calculator, and this is why I say I do this every time before I take a trade, just to score it, because I like to grade every trade, right? So ATR of 1 for sure, it's over there, 133. The relative volume is 290, almost 300 times, 300x there. Relative standard deviation, and yeah, this is going to be a 1. Relative standard deviation 7 times, so it's 7x on that one. Oops. And we'll put a 1 out there. So we're already in tradable range for at least half size. Obvious catalyst, of course, we got that. The support that I'm looking for is the $10, around 10. Whoops. So for me, this is my obvious support that is a big kind of spot for it to test back to. Obvious catalyst, that catalyst was the inflammatory, and now I can remember, inflammatory bowel disease cell, bowel cell of its whatever pharma product. Okay, and then the trend got a nice little, looks like an uptrend. I'm gonna say it's an uptrend for now. Trend is pretty visible as an uptrend, moving from start of the day, what, $3 up to up to 15 bucks. So it looks like an uptrend for now. We'll see what it wants to do, but nice, interesting movement. I need to make that bigger so I don't go blind here. Okay, so moved around 3 all the way up, or I guess it was 3 something, right? Yeah, 350 all the way up to the 15. So right now we're sitting, and let's look at the overall market sentiment. FWBI looking like it's wanting to pull back down, halted down now. Oh yes, let's see if we can get back down to that 10. And overall market sentiment is what I was trying to check. Market sentiment, SPY looking like it's nice. Coming up here from the 475s, getting a bounce there. Still going sideways, but looking good, not breaking down on the day at the 475. So as of now, I'm going to say that the market sentiment is looking pretty good, especially if it can continue and start to go higher. So we got 70. I'm still looking. Oh, I got the support already, the 10. So we could take at least half share size or more with a score of 80. And then a trend. I don't know exactly if this is a trend upward yet, so I'm going to give this a 1. And so we got an overall score of 90. I can kind of customize this. The max share size I can take is 791 shares. I could probably customize this and be like, okay, well, I can jump in with, let's say, 600 shares. But I can also, I also have on here the size to build into max size, or the size to build into custom size. So I can take about 80 shares per entry, 86 shares per entry, which would be a couple of entries. I can enter one time, and let's say if it continues to dive, I can get another entry of 80, another entry of 80, then let it go. With this custom share size, the custom stop loss risk is looking like 950, which is what I was talking about earlier, about bumping that max share size down to 950. But yeah, let's see how this plays out. SPY not looking horrible. SPY looking actually pretty bullish. It has some indecision days up here at this top, but looking like it wants to try again for higher, especially on this 4 hour coming into this sideways. If it can start the breakovers 476, looking pretty bullish. So that is pretty much what I do on every single trade. That's why I don't take 100 trades, because I am lazy. I'm not about to do this 100 times. All right, so let's jump back over here to FWBI. And actually, let's go and check out some of these other ones that was up. CYTK ended up going up there to 83, pulling all the way back. That, man, if you bought the top of this, 83, and this thing pulled all the way back to 77. Whew, that's some pain right there. NKGN, anything else? Let's jump over here to the scans real quick. How, what are we looking at? So the top four still up here is FWBI, CING, up 130 something percent. CYTK. The only thing is CING does not meet that ATR that I like. I like it to be over $1. CYTK still super high float. So, but look at that ATR on it. It's $5.22. So that's some pretty big ATR, but I don't know the speed at which you would be able to do that, or if it's just going to be making aftermarket moves like we see sometimes with the higher floats. JTAY. Yeah, we had already looked at most of these and they didn't really make the cut. Let's see. CHRS absolutely dumping from 3 down to 260. What was the I don't think this one had any kind of crazy news. Yeah. What in the world is that word? PEG Filgratium? What? I don't know what that is. Okay. Anyway, so we got Hoth still doing nothing. CLSK, let's see, no news on it. So I think the focus for me is going to be FWBI, especially out of this halt. Looking for it to get back to 10 or around 10 or something would be beautiful. Up 34% right now. But I'm willing to wait. You know, I'm willing to wait. Even if it's not today. Even if it goes till tomorrow and then I have to take trade. I don't care. I'm willing to wait for my entry. I shall wait. CING came up here to $5. CYTK continues to pump downwards. Let's see. BT up 10%. Bit Digital, that's nothing but mining type stuff. All right. So everybody was calling out CING, so I went over there and looked at that one. You know, it's okay. When is FWBI going to be unhalting? FWBI is going to be unhalting at 9, or no, it halted at 9:33, so 5 minutes, 9:38, which is 9:38 right now. 9:38:01 should be open. 9:38, still not open. Maybe it's a 10-minute halt. But yeah, looking interesting. And then we have this baseline where if it does crash through the 10 and I take that first entry of 80 shares under 10 or something, if it does break on down here to 8, I can enter a little bit more because I'm trying to get to 600 shares. So I can just enter a little bit. If it goes down, whatever, this is better prices for me, right? That's all I care about. Get those better prices, looking for that thing to come on back out of there. If we look over here on the higher time frames, we can see kind of where I was looking down here around this 10. Well, let's see. We can go back over here to the weekly chart. This 10 is right around this, what, $9, $10 to $9, right around this previous push down. I'm looking for them to push it back down here for a pop above the 9 back over 10 if possible. All right, CING still playing around here though on the 15-minute, doing its little thing, doing its little dance. Yes, yes, yes. I am ready for this trade. And then I guess the only other thing with what I'm doing with buying the dip is waiting for it to reach the level. That's it's the last part of the game. Just being like, whatever happens, I'm gonna wait for it to hit that level. Now, sometimes people with other strategies, they're trading it all while it's up. They just boom, boom, boom. But for me, I'm not looking for, the short time hold. I'm gonna give it like 30 minutes, an hour down there while it's figuring out what it wants to do. Anyway, what CLSK clean spark continue to go up. It's almost to $1 as well, but it looks like it's got a higher float. It looks like, well, it's got shares of 184 million. Let me see what the actual float is. What is that? CLSK. CLSK float. Oh yeah, 178 million. Maybe a little bit lower as one of these other ones. Float, yeah, pretty high float there. Can got up and coming back down now. BTBT still pushing up. But all of these are pushing up on lower volume. So I think it's a 10-minute halt on FWBI. People are having a lot of time to look and think about this one. So, I just want to be prepared for whatever comes. CING still doing this thing as well. Hasn't broke over the 5s yet. Coming back down, testing this spot that it ripped through, which was the 440s. And this is the first 15 minutes of the market. So in the first 15 minutes, we've seen what is going to be strong, and CYTK continues to push downward. Donnell called it. He was like, yo, that thing's got a higher float. It may not be the one. And we can see almost a $10 move on this candle to the downside. So for folks that bought up here at 83, even if they bought 100 shares, a $10 move, they lost $1,000. They're sitting heavy in the red right now. All right, we got the open on FWBI. Look at this drop. Lordy, lordy, I love it. I love it. Coming back down. Can we get all the way? Now on these kind, I don't really do the whole bounce at the bottom. I want to see it slow down. I want to see it run into a wall like the $10 level. I want to see it slow down for me. 10 coming down to 11. Nice and hard push down to 11. Now I want to see this thing kind of do some trading around here. Show me what it's got for the day. I'm very interested in this one though. All right, 1077s, 1060s, just absolutely dipping. Yes, sirree, baby. Dropped $4, man. And the ATR is still $1.34. Oh boy, I likes it. Giving it time to kind of trade around that level. JTA trash, only 30%. Oh yes, yes, yes. What if it drops all the way down to 9, bro? Man, I like it. I like it. So it's met all the criteria and continues to push down, pushing all the way down here. Of course, I'm not buying here, not with that big red candle. I have to see it slow down now. This thing's put on the track cleats, start sprinting on them. Let's see you start to respect that 10 a bit. Whew, some heat, man. All right, so will it enter my zone is the question. 1018's looking like it's getting some pretty good testing around 10. Buyers trying to keep it alive above 10. I think they're going to get that push through 10 though, and I'll be ready. CING, CYTK, NK. Okay, so we're still looking at pretty much the best one on the day. Wolf had no catalyst. That's the only reason I took it off. I wasn't even watching it because it literally has no catalyst. But FWBI though, did it get the 10 touch? It did slightly get the 10 touch, but it's not, I don't think it's ready yet with this huge red candle here. The chances, the probability of it bouncing all the way back and taking this out at the 13 is very low. It just needs a little bit of time to play here. Needs a little bit of time before it gets ready to crank back up and go towards those 13s. All right, so at this point, you know, $10, that the whole calculation that I had here is making a little bit more sense now, isn't it? So we got the catalyst, we got the move from 3 to 15, 300. So definitely looking pretty good down here off of that 10, but continuing to give it time so it can slow this momentum down. And again, I don't have VWAP. I don't have any of that. All I have is support and resistance. That's all I care about. Don't really use any indicators like that. Getting under 10 now and still have not slowed down. So will we make it all the way to 9? Is the question. 972's down here has broken down 10 and still has not slowed down much. So giving it some time still. All right, I guess I can adjust. Is it halted again? Looks like it's going into another halt. So at this point, we can change this to 950. Now my stop loss would be $9 for, and I can get 832 shares. So I can adjust this to 700 shares. And now I can take 100 share entries looking for that bounce up. And if I get a dollar move on this one, since it's moving dollars, looking at how it's bouncing, comes down here to $9, I'll be looking for probably a possible take profit up here around maybe 12. But it just depends. But that'll be $700 each dollar. So just giving it time. Bow, bow, bow. So has the bottom side down here from $9, and it's coming into a whole dollar resistance level as well. So 9 and then 8 would be the next resistance level. Now below this level, like 661, I don't really know about that one, but you know, on days like this, you know, anything's possible. We're just watching, waiting, being patient. Got about 10 minutes left on the stream. I'm definitely going to continue watching this one probably all day. I'm not really interested in anything else today. I'll see where this one wants to slow down and start to kind of find that the little spot where it wants to call bottom. Take some quick entries and see what happens. Because if we look over here on the higher time frames, It's coming right down into this level, this push down level that we looked at before, right at the $9. So very interesting push down level. We can clear some of these out. It's just too many. Remove, remove, remove. And right there, that's what we're looking at. Right there, back to this previous level. Get a dollar pop on 700 shares. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Or if it comes down even more, if it comes down to $8 and get a dollar pop back up to $2 pop back up to 10, you know, better and better prices. Let's see if I was to go for 8, that would be a total of almost 1,000 shares. So every dollar would be $1,000. But we're gonna stick with our plan. We're not gonna get too happy. I'm gonna say 950 and see what comes out of this halt. How far it wants to go, because it hasn't started to slow down yet. It went into the halt, and I'm just not too sure. I need to see confirmation that buyers are coming back in, because we got the confirmation on the day that sellers came in up here between 14.50 and 13. Now I need to see buying confirmation on the bottom side, like a week like this. This one 566 came back up to 676, and get on for that ride. Yeah, Kev. Yeah. 700 shares, every dollar is 700 bucks. But it may be more than that depending on how good the price, because remember, I'm not getting in all at once. And that's what the calculation is for. It's going to say, okay, size to build into custom size, 100 shares. So if I buy 100 and it continues to fall, then I'm not just out in the wind swinging. You know what I'm saying? Plus, the other thing we have to take in consideration on this 15-minute, it is breaking lower lows. So we want to see some kind of start of building of higher highs here, or higher lows rather. Yep. Get in little by little. It's just like a granular entry. All right, there's the open breaking down 950 right there. Let's see it go ahead and break down 9. The good thing about these types of stocks that are up big like this is sometimes they don't do what most people expect them to. So like at a whole dollar level, it didn't actually test the 9, it just got close to it. And so maybe buyers try to jump in front of that 9 and they get crushed. And they give me even better prices trying to get out. So I'm looking for that drop through 9. Coming back up, testing 10 there. But I'm still not interested. This candle has a couple minutes to close on this 7 minutes to close on this 15-minute, but giving it time, baby, giving it time. Especially if it can consolidate, like go sideways under 10, then I have way more conviction that it's gonna go back over 10. But as of now, let the buyers get their backs blown out and get ready to find where the shorts will be trying to exit for premium profit. They're jumping in front of that price of the $9 whole dollar level, but the shorts, this momentum, this visible momentum here is what's going to get them hurt. Now, if it goes and breaks the 9 and immediately pops back up, maybe there's some big buyers there. But for me right now, this ain't no buy. Not yet. CING. CING end up dying, and this is why we need catalyst. without catalyst, what are we doing? What are we doing? CYTK continuing down as well. Hoth, nothing. NKGN, nothing. So yeah, I think we're watching the right one. Ooh, I'm gonna be able to buy a box of cereal today, boy. Yeah, we're gonna be able to buy some shoestrings, maybe some, chapstick. Cause this one's about empty, so need some more chapstick. Maybe a bowl of rice. Yes, sir. Can you only buy in stocks? No, you can short stocks. No, you can make money when it's going down. Um, you need a margin account to do it though, but basically you'll be borrowing shares from the bank to use as a kind of like a placeholder. It's like, let me borrow these shares because I think that the price is going down, right? And the bank says, okay, but here are the stipulations. Some stipulations where, like, let's say if you hold overnight, you have to pay to hold overnight. Or some stipulations, there's some kind of price to pay for what they call it, locate fees, locating the shares to trade, right? I think the best platform that I saw for that is Trade Zero, but there are a couple others that may be a little bit more expensive. Trade Zero, when I was looking at it, was like $60 a month. Because I think they still do commissions. I believe they do. But there's some other platforms that you can short with as well. But you need to be over PDT to get a margin account if you're going to be trading M1 in the US. But yeah, and you can definitely make money when they're going down. See, what I'm looking for is for them to sell off, let the sellers have their time. Say, okay, sellers, okay, good job. And then get in with those sellers that are getting off the gas. That's what I'm looking for. That's pretty much my whole strategy. Wait for them to push this thing into non-existence and for them to want to take profit on, a day, or maybe even if it's not 2 day, but we know that there's a lot of shorts getting this thing on down. And I'm just looking for that covering, that profit taking of the shorts to enter. I am probably, you know, all dip buyers, whether they trade fast, slow, however they trade, they say I'm buying a dip, but I'm buying the dip. I'm buying low and in control. I want to be in a spot where I can be comfortable with it going sideways, with it getting choppy, with it doing all of that. That's why I want to be buying it. I'm like, well, it's already gone down this far. How much further can it go down, right? And plus, not only that, I'm not saying that, I also have my risk managed. So I'm risking about $300 per trade. And so let's say if I get 700 shares and we move a dollar, well, that's $700, right? We're coming on down through the 950s, coming on down into the nine. Like I said, these buyers that bought before nine are not idiots, but they anticipated and they're getting clapped now. So now we're coming on down through the nines. And I'm just patient. I'm just gonna wait and see where it consolidates, coming back into this previous level. Looking like it's maybe halting again right at $9. But yeah, that's pretty much the strategy. Wait for a nice position for some covering to occur. But yeah, if we look over here before I go off stream, if we look over here on the hour chart, we can see that the previous level of kind of like buying was between the 858 and the 747 here. And so I could buy around, let's say 8-ish something, 840, whatever, and then put my stop at 750. But I can also run it through the calculator real quick. Let's see where's my here. So let's say if I'm looking for a entry of 840 now instead of 950. So I'm getting better and better entries, just not touching this thing. 850. So I can get 930 shares there. And stop would move down to, for the custom, if I get 700 shares, I would actually probably bump this up to 800 shares. And so for the custom stop loss, it'll be 813. So I'll be looking for that breakdown of 8 and I'll go ahead and get out. But you know, that's pretty much it. That's the strat. I am not a high frequency trader by any means. I try to sell myself on not touching the buy button. But I like to be in the right place at the right time, looking at the right thing to take advantage of it. Yes, I'm streaming on Friday. Yep. Streaming on Friday. You know, this month has been slow. I only took 2 trades. Both of them were green, but you know, if this could close me out for December, be a nice little ending December trade, that'd be dope, you know. If I can just make a 1-to-1, just 300 bucks just to end the month, I'm good. But if I get a 2-to-1, 3-to-1, this thing gets back up to 12 something, amen. I'll be happy with that. But anyway, I am about to have to get to this morning meeting. I see them calling. Like they sent me some emails. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. You guys pretty much have seen what I'm looking for. Um, right now, the price that I was kind of looking for is the 840s. Kind of see what's going to happen after this thing comes into this halt area. I'm not going to be too quick to buy. I do want to see a little bit more consolidation, even behind this downward spiral. You know, I mean, if it can give me 8, that would be even better. It just continues to get better, really. If I start my position, start my taste test at 8, start my taste test at 850, whatever, and then use this bottom with 661 as out, beautiful. But anyway, appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm going to be streaming back on Friday, so if I end up taking a trade today, I'll like go through it or whatever on Friday and show if these calculations, if the stop loss and all of this stuff worked. And if I follow my rules, you know, risking that 300 for a possible win of 700, you know, a nice 2-to-1 win. But anyway, that is it for me today. If you're going to continue trading, of course, it is a lot to trade. There are a lot of catalysts. Definitely be careful. Keep your head on a swivel. And I will see you guys on Friday. And as always, you know, happy late Merry Christmas. It was a nice Christmas, you know, got some time with the fam and all of that stuff. But yeah, back to business, trying to get into January, into the new year, not carrying any kind of baggage from this year. So, you know, if I lose 300 bucks, well, I'm already up 300 bucks on a month anyway. So I got a cushion and just looking to expand on that cushion coming into the end of the year. But yep, that's it for me. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.